This map really set it up Optic Texas's run at EWC. Do main AR rules exist? Well, let's find out.
Through his 3 maps.
Good break off from Optic.
Opening first blood goes to Dashy. Shotzzy looking to push out the corner off his Semtex. That works. Rencourt trying to work with Super to try to battle back as his teammates are coming off a spawn, but staggered kills coming through as Dashy is just in the firing range right now.
Really good place from Kyler here, chat. So right here, you get a clean wave based on your flow. Whoever's the first guy in the flow, he bumping out, using his free life, getting specific information. This is a really, really good example of Optic playing their safety net positions, reacting off the information and trading where necessary, so they're not trying to double die or double scam. And you see the importance of using your free life is when you slide cancel around corners, either teams are playing to pre-aim it, predicting you're going to do it, which then gives you more time on the hill, right? Or teams are so worried about other safety net positions, like these guys, where you just get free kills. When you use that free life and you're playing with confidence, you're playing to win. When you're playing to win, you're catching people sprinting. They're not expecting it. And that's how Kyler's getting 1 kill here, chat.
Spawn, but staggered kills coming
Look at number 1 here. Look at Kyler just taking his time in. So now he's using his time to slide cancel camera Renko, get that 1, and then make that next wave easy to hold for Texas. Because then theoretically, if they just play to trade, they just go 1 for 1, they'll win the wave. Keep them spawning out. Do it all again.
In the firing range right now, and Hook will force the issue forward. And this is the
You see right here? By him getting specific information, Dashy has given up gens because he realizes, okay, I've just got 1, and I see the other 2 people right here. Actually, let me get back on my locker room thing. They say, right, I see 2 people. We've just killed 1. I know where everybody is. When you get specific information, then you can play positions when you predict where they're coming from. You play positions where you can guarantee like a kill, slide cancel, however you want to challenge it, pre-fire, whatever. It makes everyone useful, and this is how you get efficiency in a hold. It then gives you the best chance of winning the next wave.
Perfect break off there for Optic. You're spawning on the preferred side. Dashy locking everything down to the mid street.
And when you think about it, chat, when you're in these hybrid positions, when you're in these power spots, they're power spots for a reason, because it gives you an overwhelmingly high chance of winning your gunfights. It makes it incredibly hard for these guys to do anything without dying. And so even though, look at them, even though they made kills, when you have power spots, they still have to work for the time. They can't just do anything.
And you win the initial gunfights for at least 13 seconds to start off at this P1, but final 25 seconds, Dashy, the best pistol player I've ever seen.
So this is an example of what Octane was saying, the fact that AR roles aren't necessarily what they were or what they are now compared to what they were. You'll notice that in this wave, Dashy is in a hybrid spot. He's in a power position with his AR. So from a micro perspective, he's playing an AR position, right? He's got specific information on 5. He's got specific information on 8. And I want you guys to do this in ranked. He is playing his AR positions to try and get kills. But then once trades are going down, he's not stationary on his AR position. He's trusting his flow. He's trusting his trades. And he's pushing forward, selfless, playing to die.
Locking everything down to the mid street.
Look at him. He's the first guy in the flow, right? He's the first guy in this flow. Trusting him to watch over, and he's playing aggressive. He's playing to get people weak in order to set up his teammates. This is what we call having a ubiquitous role right here. This is where everyone's doing everything.
And you win the initial gunfights for
Pulls
at
out
least
his
13
pistol.
seconds to start off at this P1, but
setting up number 3 where he can.
Dashy, the best pistol player I've ever seen in this
And
world.
this is your main AR player right here.
With his teammates having his back. Final 50.
When you say he's the first up, does he know that just by watching the kill feed? If it's a noob question, are you talking about Dashy? So what I mean by that is, imagine you look at your minimap and imagine it's a conveyor belt, right? This is in relation to how far people are pushed up on the map in relation to where the enemies are in relation to the objective. Dashy was the furthest pushed out guy. Your role in the flow will dictate your timings, will dictate where you need to be on the map, will dictate what kills you're playing, will dictate what lanes you need to fill. In that situation, so let's break it down for you, Suave. Or Suave.
Mid-street.
So right here, right? In this situation, if we had a conveyor belt like this, this is what we call flow. Your conveyor belt dictates what lanes you pick up and what lanes you will then need to refill based on who has what, okay? He's the first guy, he's the second guy, he's the third guy, he's the last guy. His job is essentially to watch pinch and to keep the game controlled by blocking spawns, right? That's his role. The first guy's role is to get space in relation to the situation, either by taking a long route if they need to break, by using his free life, taking space, playing the first kill of the next wave. That is what number one is doing here, okay?
She is just in the firing range right now.
So right here, number one has done a fantastic job. Suave? Yeah, I'm gonna call you Suave. So he's got 1 kill, right? They've gone 1 for 1. They've traded. In this conveyor belt, they've gone 1 for 1. They've got trades. When you trade, the advantage is going to be with the defending team, because it's less people to take out power positions and stuff like that, right? It's not like S&D where you want to trade always favors the attack. So right here, they went 1 for 1. So he's dead. Therefore, he's the furthest guy, he's the second, he's the third, and then the last guy will then eventually refill as the fourth guy based on the respawn, right? But then in this situation, 2 can't push out like this because he doesn't have the timing to do so. The timing meaning if you sprinted across the map, how much of the map can you get without getting into a gunfight? He can't take any more space as he can without the fear of dying in a gunfight or getting caught sprinting. So right here, Dashi then gets across to number 2 to trade these guys where that specific information is coming from. So they're trying to play trades. They're trying to go 1 for 1 here, okay? So look at it right here.
Will force the issue forward.
And this is the perfect break off there for Optic. You're spawning on the preferred side. Dashi locking everything down through the mid-street.
So now, right here, Shotzi's died. Shotzi's gone 1 for 1. They've traded. Now it's a 2 versus 2. And so he's the first guy in the flow. In this flow, he's now the first guy. And when you're the first guy in the flow, you're trying to set up the rest of your teammates. And he's putting pressure on 8 and 7 after he's got them weak in order to not only take the gunfight from a micro perspective because they're weak, but also then to set up this guy to help and trade. Rather than sitting and doing nothing, he's getting active on the map. He's putting pressure on the map. That's what we mean by that.
And you win the initial gunfights for at least 13 seconds to start off at this.
So you see that? So 3 and 4 are working together. He is almost playing as the sacrificial lamb to put pressure on the map because he's now the furthest pushed up guy in order to set this guy up. Micro teamwork based on the macro right here.
But final 25 seconds. Dashi, the best pistol player I've ever seen in this world.
It's a weapon.
Doesn't even need to use it, but his teammates having his back. Final 15 seconds. They had the...
Hopefully, Suave, that like answers your question to an extent.
Show me. Yo, what's going side yellow?
Trying to do in 10 seconds left of a hill. Right here, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to do? Guys, what are we trying to do in this situation? Go for new, hold the rotation. So what is the first guy's responsibility?
Yo, make sure you hold this right now.
In this situation, what are we trying to do? Yep, spawn them back P2 good. Go for new, hold the rotation, and set up for power spots. Yeah, so essentially, in this case, based on where you're spawning, ideally, Suave, you want the first guy to be picking up the long routes. Ideally, you want the first guy to be picking it up, and then you refill as necessary. But in this situation, he's denying anyone pushing through. So that way, you can keep spawning in, and you spawn them out. And then they're just shifting across, playing power positions, and holding P1 in order to set up new. It's the same thing with the Skyline, guys. Having a game plan, having a system, understanding what lanes you need to pick up in relation to the rotation, and then adapting and using teamwork is how you then secure these rotations. Have a system, understand, okay, this is the idea we have. And then once you get specific information with the trades, with the team shots, then you can adapt.
One. First guy. Yo, pick up the right. I'm mid. Yeah, he's on me hole. I'm in hole. He's on me hole. He's AP.
Metal settled.
I don't see him.
What's in
He's
blue?
here.
Yeah, first guy's blue.
Watch out mid.
So I actually want to say this is really good, right? This is a good way to illustrate what I'm saying. So when you're rotating, guys, your game plan is to try and refill P1. So you want to get this position first in order to deny anyone burger, get info, and then you want to play for P1. So Optic do a really good job of doing that initially. And this is what I mean by having a system, by having a game plan, by understanding what you need to fill and where you need to fill in the moment. Right, chat? So look at this situation here.
Yo, pick up the right. I'm mid.
When you're the furthest guy in this situation, your job is to pick up the furthest lane or the quickest lane to the new time. So people can't just run it down. People can't get through. And it gives you specific information for the rest of your team, right? So that's what 3 is doing. Then, as part of your system, as part of your game plan, you want to refill the next relevant lane in accordance to how you want to hold it. So right here, the key to P3 is holding P1. You deny them pushing through and flipping you. And you're in a position where once P3 pops and you get a wave and you spawn a back P2 and you keep them spawning back burger, you're in a kill box situation, right? But this is an example of a team having a system and then adapting from that system with the information you're getting specifically. So right here, chat.
Yeah, he's on me hole.
Is number 3, Mason, has gone to pick up P3 and deny any timings across, right? But then he's abandoning that in order to trade and help based on number 6 and number 1. Funny situation here that Mason doesn't see him, but like the intention is there. Sometimes it happens. This is an example of you do the right play, you have the right intention, and sometimes that's Call of Duty at the end of the day.
Metal settled.
I don't see him.
What's in blue? Yeah, first guy's blue.
Watch out mid.
Right? And then there you go.
I don't know. P1's mid and one's
Extra S.
This is how teams evolve going into P5. On some hills, and this is JG, this is to your question earlier, like some hills are going to be more beneficial depending on the weapon that you have, depending on whether it's a close hill, depending on how the trades go, the gunfights go. You get like a natural flow and a natural affinity to like how some hills work. And this is a situation where teams end up pulling like 3 SMGs, 4 SMGs out just to keep it simple and trade and bang. And this is an example where you need to pull out a weapon conducive to the hill to give yourself the advantage. This is the hill where you won't run 4 ARs because it goes against the advantage of using an assault rifle, right? This is the hill where, because of the gunfights that you have, the trades that you have, and the nature of the hill and the speed of the hill, you will play super, super fast. And that's why you want an SMG.
In towards the gens.
My issue is I end up being the last one alive on a hill, don't realize it until I'm shot from D. Yeah, solo queue hell.
Always find your trades. Heretics currently up
see
by
it here?
50. They are filling themselves. Let's go for a listening. A Bravia listening with the Heretics.
Tengo el patio pins, Joe.
Va a entrar, está una bala en punto.
Tengo patio pins. Tiro punto.
Muerto.
3 subs, even 4 subs. So, JG, we were one of the first teams on Vault Control to run 3 SMGs on attack and 4 SMGs on defense. Because we recognized early on, and we were one of the best Vault Control teams in the game early on, is that with mid pressure, if you continuously had flow through mid and you're playing pace from mid and you're cutting from middle, you can get away with SMGs to then get to their side. Then if you spawned out last or third, then you pull out an AR to pick up the side lanes. We did the same on CeeLo Control. We did the same on like last year's Control. It's just understanding the situations you're in and being creative and innovative. It's like right here, this is why you see Brandon right here is another example of an AR player pulling out an SMG because of the natural flow of a hill, because of the natural progression of the hill, because of the natural gunfights of the hill. This is a hill that naturally, based on how it is, forcing SMG gunfights. And if you're forcing SMG gunfights, well, you want to make sure you're having more SMGs in that flow. Even Super using an SMG here. So 3 SMGs, you know? And then if you're trusting the flow and you're playing with speed, look at Mercules with an SMG. You're trusting the flow, playing with speed with SMGs. You have the advantage and you utilize the SMGs. But then you have your AR players who then... This is almost to what Octane was saying, is this is almost like a paradox. Where yes, the roles are ubiquitous, everyone's doing their own thing. But when you have a situation like this, when you have a hill with more SMG players, or let's say with 3 SMGs, you have more SMGs, so you're banging out hills, right? But then also on hills like that, your ARs are going to be in an AR lane or an AR position more often than not, right? So picking up pre-aiming aside or pre-aiming outer, right, on both sides, and then banging through time where necessary. So it goes hand in hand where you will have your ARs in natural AR positions, but then also they'll have the tendency to pull another SMG out because of the nature of the hill. Long-winded, yapping, but you get the idea.
Boom. Jump scare. Are you paying attention? I don't think you are. Let me just interrupt you real quick with this video. Hope you guys enjoying it so far. Make sure you guys join my Discord. My Discord will be in the description below. The reason why you want to join my Discord is I host viewer 8s, sub 8s, tournaments, coaching sessions, Q&As. Everything in my community goes through Discord. Make sure you join below if you're serious about improving and you want to find like-minded people who will improve. You want to find people for ranked, for challenges, you name it. Stress-free, easy enough. Get involved. If you guys want private coaching, check out my website, dreal.co.uk. It will be in the description below. If you guys want private coaching, you guys want to BS, do whatever you need to do, make sure you check that out. Right, return back to the video.
Trophy system in place, but
oh my God,
is just doing whatever he wants.
So this right here, look. Key breakdown right here.
This is a very...
They're in such a disadvantageous position. Super is in a position where if he gets one, they're going to win rotation for new. Super ends up getting stabbed by Shotzi. They know Super is going to spawn back here. They know where Shotzi potentially is going to be. Takes his time and Hugh gets one. Continues to keep on running. Takes his timing through here without waiting. This is what we call, this is playing to win right here. He takes his timing even though he could die, even though number 5 could pick it up. Threads the needle through, kills one, ends up then killing the second guy. Guess one, kill Super. Challenges 5, gets 2. And that was from the call out from Merc, right? Which then leaves these guys in a 2v1 position at the back. They trade him and Merc has a free life. This has gone from potentially Miami getting 60 seconds to Optic winning the game from here. All that from one play. A disadvantage into an advantage.
Now you have to set up properly.
And now they're taking fights together.
One person watching the pitch. They're going trade for trade.
Look at him. He's getting active on the point, even though if it means he dies to try and help. And this is how they then snowball the game. Look at it.
Because the close spawns for Optic allowed him to instantly hop back in.
Book looking to finish off medals. Toe taps with the pistol will work.
And now they get basically the last 20 seconds, and then it puts them in a prime position to break a P5 because it's so hard to rotate and play a wave on P5 when teams are taking ramps. Wow.